And I'm going to ask him a few questions just about the interview process and to put yourself in the best place to get that first medical sales job. So Dave, what would you recommend that recent graduates or those in the medical sales college do to get the attention of hiring managers in the interview?
Yeah, no, great question. So, you know, I'll get a lot of calls from people that are trying to break into the field, or I'll get an email from somebody. What I recommend is that they do like a dual-pronged approach, for lack of a better term, and that is they're reaching out to me directly, and then they're also trying to figure out who influences me, right? There's people that influence me, and reaching out to those people to try to influence them to get my attention.
Okay. What are questions you enjoy hearing from candidates during the interview process?
Yeah, I don't know there's any particular questions. What I like to see is that somebody is thoughtful, someone has done their homework, that the questions are engaging, and that there's follow-up questions for those questions. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So why are questions from interviewees so important? What does that tell you about them?
Oh, loads, right? I mean, because I can ask questions and people can have really good answers for some of my questions, but what is really telling is the questions they ask me, right? That tells me, have they done the research about the company? Have they done the research about me? Have they researched the procedure that we do? Do they even know the procedures that we do, right? And then so, because I look at it from the standpoint that if I'm a physician and you're trying to convert my business, you're going to have to do those things. So if you don't know how to do those things, that's fine. But some of these things are intuitive, right? That you're strategic, and we influence people in our lives. And are you a good influencer, right? So you would have good questions for me. You'd have good research for me. You would, and I look at the whole ability to ask good questions. That interviewee can control the entire interview. Right? And when I look at my good sales reps that I've hired, they'll go into a meeting and be able to control the whole meeting. Right? They know what they're going after. They'll ask a question to take that person to that area so they can have a discussion about it. That those good questions allow that interviewee to be able to demonstrate all the reasons why they should be the candidate who should be hired. Right? So the questions are, in my mind, they're the most important part.
I love it. So what kind of interview process do you typically put candidates through in this current position?
Yeah, so phone screening for sure, and usually it's phone screening with myself, it's a phone screening with our partner in HR. I get some feedback from her on that. Then if those phone screenings go well, we will move to a video interview. And the video interview, really the important thing about that is it's easy to share that, right? I can share that with some of my colleagues, I can share that with reps. And so that we all are on the same page of like, should we move forward with this candidate? Or hey, check this out, what do you think? And I get feedback. It shows, the video gives us an idea of, does this person have some presence, right? Is this a person you'd like to talk to? Those kind of things, right?
So during these interviews, say it's a video or in person or over the phone, what are specific things that you look for in a candidate?
Right. So I would say on a phone, I'm just looking for someone that they're easy to talk to, right? They're friendly, they're easy to talk to. I get a sense of that. On the video, it's more of, do they have presence, right? Do they have, are they appropriate in their dress? Are they appropriate how they're doing the video? Are they nervous about doing the video? Just those kind of things, right? Gives me another data point.
You mean they can't wear PJs?
If they do, they should be below the desk.
Yes. Yeah. Gotcha. If they don't have as much sales experience, though, as the next guy or gal, how can they still win your favor?
You know what? We hire people without any sales experience. It's not about the sales experience, it's about the people. You hire great people. We have a great training department. We train. We have a good field sales training where our reps help to train them in the field. So we're confident we can hire great people. We can train great people.
And then after the interview is concluded, do you appreciate good follow-up from a candidate?
Absolutely. Once again, right, I look at the whole interview process as it's a sales campaign, right? How is this a person? how is this person approaching how they're going to influence me? And part of influencing me is going to be that follow-up. So is their follow-up articulate? Is their follow-up concise? Is their follow-up on point? I mean, all these things, and is it appropriate, right?
Yeah. And then at what point in the interview, first, middle, last, is it the right time to ask about salary?
You know what? I think part of the first part of the interview is me explaining what the job is and what the demands of the job are, and in case that person doesn't quite know, and a lot of times they don't, and that's totally okay. I think up front it's okay to ask about compensation for sure.
And how can a rep negotiate that? Should a new rep coming into the industry negotiate their salary at that point if they're trying to get their foot in the door?
I do not think it's a problem for them to ask what it is, and is there more available? That's not a problem at all. But usually with the entry level, it's a very narrow band. There may be $5,000 or $10,000 wiggle room in there, but there's not much more than that.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And then what is an example of what not to do that you've experienced before from a candidate in an interview process?
So when you're doing your video interview, do not do it laying down in your bed. Bad.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Absolutely.